Passover is for the Jewish people a time that we remember and reenact our redemption from Egypt some 3,300 years ago. But the redemption from Egypt has also been a source of inspiration for many cultures and many peoples, an inspiration for being released from bondage and all forms of slavery and pain over many centuries. And Passover is also a time to reflect upon individual bondage of various forms. And really, it's a time to go back to the story and realize there are different levels of bondage and different types and stages in redemption. And last year, many of us were probably thinking about Exodus 12 and 13, where the Jewish people at the time, on the night of Passover, when they were redeemed, at the initial stages were told to stay in their homes, not to leave their homes until morning, because there was the plague of the firstborn outside. And the Talmud learns from there that when there is a plague of any type, you should stay indoors and not move around freely. And that is probably something that many of us were feeling last year and thinking about, being held in our homes and closed up with our families because of dangers that were outside and often actually being kept away from many members of our family. This year, it is more complex. There were stages in redemption, and just like the initial stage was being closed up in a home, and the final stage was, of course, crossing the Red Sea and coming to complete freedom, there are many stages along the way. There were the stages that people are coming out of their homes. There are the stages towards morning, where they're still in their homes, but they understand that they will be freed. There are many stages in redemption, and there are many stages in personal and individual redemption from all forms of pain and bondage and loneliness. And what's special, I think, this year, or something that's exceptional, is that different peoples in different parts of the world, for a variety of reasons, are in different stages of this redemption. So in Israel, we are fortunate, thank God, to have very good vaccine distribution, and there's a sense that we're hopefully, with the help of God, beyond the main part of this pandemic. At least we hope so. There are many places in the world where vaccine distribution has not been so successful, and there are parts of the developing world where there's going to be some time to wait until proper redemption from this pandemic. And this is really a time to ponder these differences and the empathy we must have one for the other, that to understand that redemption is not just an individual issue, it's an international issue. It's something that crosses all peoples, and that people can be at different stages in their redemption, in their leaving slavery and leaving bondage. And time really to celebrate how God saves us in each generation, but also how God requires that we note other people's various and varying stages in their move from bondage to salvation, to freedom, and being saved. And to think and be concerned about those who aren't in the same stage that we are at, and also understand that we're all moving towards a better world, hopefully, together. And there are stages, and there's a process, and that we need each other's help in that time. So if last year we were still perhaps at the time of midnight in the Passover story, and maybe we hope that next year we'll already be crossing the Red Sea. At this point in time, maybe we're somewhere between midnight and crossing the Red Sea, and various people are in different stages in that, and we maybe should be thinking about others and being supportive all together at this very crucial moment. Wishing everybody happy and meaningful Passover.